Where do we start? So, our journey so far in order for us to reach fire. At the time this is recorded, we are roughly achieve about $500,000 in our trading account, let's say, in our ETFs, in our current portfolio, roughly just above 50%. So, this is where I am at the moment. So, I kind of wish I actually did this when I only started at about $5, $10 or so. But unfortunately, I didn't do that. So, and yeah, I kind of wish I actually documented my journey from the very beginning about 4 to 5 years ago. But yeah, our journey so far alone, it has been a blessing. The fact that over the past 5 years, we were able to accumulate $500,000. That is because we liquidate a lot of our asset that was on property and decided to move on from the property side and going towards the ETF side. So, looking back alone, I am kind of grateful that I actually did that. Well, the decision between my wife and I, the fact that realizing there's a potential on this a lot more easier compared to property. Property asset is the fact that it's location bound, let's say, where you kind of have to be in the country or in the certain sector, and you kind of need to keep an eye on that quite regularly. ETF, on the other hand, don't really require that much effort. You can do this globally if you're going to go overseas or thinking of going abroad. You have access to that. In the condition, I don't think I know how to do it just yet. In the condition that if you're thinking of withdrawing, you have to go back to that country. So for myself, if we ever decided to withdraw our account, we can withdraw our account. We have to be in Australia, let's say. Tax purposes, because we open it in our account in Australia, then obviously tax implication of it comes in whichever country that you're in. But throughout, the fact that I've got no headache, less headache compared to property. We were in overseas at one stage when we owned an investment property, and it wasn't a good outcome, let's say, because our property manager wasn't really active. Whereas now with ETFs, I can have a look at in my phone, in my account currently at the current stage, what is my current holding. I can do that via, as long as I have the internet. So yeah, that aspect of it, it's been great journey so far overall. So where do we start? About 5 years ago, 5+ years ago, we were during COVID. We were staying at home. We were looking at different avenues. How can I generate more income outside of passively, I guess, outside of property investing and throughout our job. So I started with micro investing within about $5 or so. I think it was in January as well. January about in 2019, somewhere around there. That's when I started. And looking at the potential of that, I received my first dividends of about 5 cents. That was my biggest highlight over about I think it's like a month, not a month, more like about a year later. And I was about, wow. I had like a wow factor and thinking to myself, oh, okay, so I can get a cash flow on this. And then from there, we sort of like deciding this is probably the better move compared to property. Now, this is because we used to be a property guy and we used to believe in property. However, that's not the case anymore. So, my financial situation, I didn't grow up with families that have money. In fact, it's the other way around. We migrated in here when I was a young age. My wife migrated here when she was in university. And we didn't come from a wealthy family. So we started from nothing. Overall, my highlight in terms of my inspiration is the fact that I looked at, I guess, what it looked like when I'm 65. I know for sure I didn't want to become, I guess, financial burden to my kids. That was the reason why I'm doing this, because it can get really hurtful financially for our next generation, let's say, if they're not set up properly. So overall experience, there was a doubt at a certain point during COVID, where the market just crashed day after day, I did have doubts that it might be the wrong thing that I'm doing. And I had fears of, oh my God, all my capital is going to be gone. But at the same time, doing a lot of research, reading a lot of books, going through a lot of podcasts, I'll go through a lot of charts, go through historical data, it will go back up overall throughout the whole entire journey of our time. When we started this, yeah, it did actually go up a lot more. So overall, it has been positive, even though there was a lot of ups and down, the if and flow of the property, ETF investing or so. My building block on this. So you gotta have your mindset shift. You have to sit down to yourself, like asking to yourself, is this the right path where I'm actually going? For me, at one stage, I looked at it, what was I doing beforehand, before I was focusing on this? It was just focusing on a job, realizing that in a job, you probably are just a number in a sense. There's going to be another person that is way better than you, that can do a lot more things faster, better, or more efficiency than you. If you don't deal with your own personal finance, nobody will take care of you. That's my mindset shift. So the quicker you realize that, the quicker for you to take action, the better it is for you in the long term. That's what we did. My detailed transformation and my mindset and started to change is the fact that I kind of realized I need to find a different income compared to working from, let's say, my day job in a sense. Sometimes you forget because I think you're kind of in that comfort zone where you're in the income of every week you're gonna have a paycheck. You're comfortable with that, but at the same time you're gonna look at it, what would happen if I keep on doing what I'm doing over the course of 40 years or something, throughout your lifetime, 30 years if that, is this what you really want to do? But for me, I kind of realized that at a very early age, well, kind of a bit late, roughly the early 30s, and realizing this is not what I want to do. So my shifting starting when I realizing that at a certain point we were on holiday. We were going camping throughout New South Wales. I think it was in January or so, December-January break. And while we were going on vacation, while we were going camping, realizing that, hey, our net worth is actually going up every day while we were on vacation, except for the days that are public holidays or Saturday or the weekend. So and because we were driving quite a lot, there's a lot of thinking involved. The fact that, wow, this is potentially can go up a lot more than what we're expecting. My education, on the other hand, is pretty much a lot of research, a lot of reading material, a lot of books that I read, and taking a lot of action to that. Some of the books is very inspiring. Some of them it might be just general knowledge. But what I realized in personal finance is all of the information is somewhat the same from one book to another. It's all up to you to make the action. So most of the time when I read my books, it's actually via Audible. And at one stage of my life, I actually have to drive between location to location with an average of about 2 or 3 hours a day on the road, on the car. And I was able to listen, take a break, listen more, take a break. So that's what I like about it. And from then on, I sort of take a step on actually physically doing it. The books give you a little bit of information, how to create a budget, figure out your finances, where your money goes, the ins and out of your money. And then from there, we sort of take an action. What is the next step? So budgeting, unfortunately, it is boring. It is a dull subject, but you kind of need to know the ins and out of your money, including where are you spending more? Are you spending less? Are you investing? The difference? Are you putting on saving? Have you got an emergency fund? And all that good stuff in a sense. The implication of this is if you haven't done it before, I realize the challenges that comes with it. In the beginning, there was a lot of, I guess, shaking here and there. There's a friction when it comes to our finances because we're not used to this. Once you get it down pack, on the other hand, the quicker you understand where your money is going, the better it is for you. My investment strategy, at one stage there was a lot of different variety products. We went through, I think it's like, I don't know, 4 to 5 different platforms or so. But that's just the way I do things, learning by doing and realizing what would happen if I keep on doing what I'm doing. And if I realize that now, in 2025, I'm probably just gonna go to just one platform. So I didn't know the platform back then, what I was trying to do. All I wanted to do is just to achieve more income compared to what I'm getting from the bank, from a saving account. So that's the starting point of it. But if you already knows about the fees, how it's actually going to eat you up when it comes to your profit, then it definitely might be time for you to rethink what you're going to do with your portfolio. My success, in terms of the success, will be the fact that in 2024, at the end of 2024, we achieved $500,000. That was the big milestone for me, and how it took us a long time to get there, but overall it has been a great journey, and overall the fact that we halfway there in a sense to become a millionaire in terms of just on investment on the ETF side of it. Now for me, when somebody asks me, goes, how do you calculate your net worth? It's like, well, I don't calculate my home because I'm unable to get a cash flow from it. I'm looking for another source of avenue. Yes, if I do sell this property, then yes, I do have a profit from it and I can eat from that. However, I don't calculate the home. I don't calculate my super because superannuation or 401k for some people out there, it's pretty much looking at, in case if there's a pandemic, you might be able to withdraw it, and in case of emergency, as in when you retire, that's our sort of like plan Z. If anything else doesn't work, then yes, okay, I'll use my super as our income. So overall, that's how I calculate the net worth, let's say. Understanding the reward, the risk and the reward on investing. In every aspect of any investment, there's bound to be a risk, there's bound to be a reward. But if you understand that, if you know how to manage it, then it would be a good decision for you. But if you don't understand it, and if you're just looking at the ups, not looking at the down, it's gonna give you a little bit of a shock when the market correction happens. So for me, that is probably one of the biggest fundamentals, I say, for you to understand how does the money work in the market. It's great when it goes up, but you need to learn also what would happen if it goes down. Nothing goes up forever. There are bound to be ups and downs throughout our journey, and we experience that as well. Looking ahead, our journey, we're going to continue what we are doing right now. In fact, we've already started on our second account, let's say, as of January this year, January 2025, and just looking at the 3 index fund on one platform. We're just going to keep on buying these 3 over and over again, and what money we have from our dividends, it's going to get reinvested again, and whatever capital that we have, we're going to reinvest that as well. I guess my dream is trying to create a legacy for my kids, so that way they have the options to do whatever it is that they want to do on their passion. Not to work at a certain condition where they have to do it because they need to work. Instead of that, I would like for them to have the accessibility of choosing to work on whatever passion that they actually like. So yeah, we discuss the importance of personal finance in our family in quite regular basis. On every week, I still do the kids' payment every Saturday morning or so. We do the coin jar, we split our system, how much they earn and how much they're supposed to be investing, how much they're going to be spending, and we do that in a regular basis so that way they understand the value of money. Our plan is in 2025, hopefully, we increase our net worth by possibly be another $100,000 or so by the end of 2025, but we'll see what it looks like, how it leads us. Overall, I encourage you guys to start thinking, if you haven't actually started yet. If your portfolio is not performing, then do more research. Possibly be looking at different platform if it's not performing the way you think it would be. And I encourage for you guys to start somewhere. If you are still paying off your debt, pay off your debt quickly as possible. If you're up to where I am, good for you. If you're up to above me, great for you. I'm looking forward to that. At the same time, I do have a one-on-one coaching or so. I will leave in the link in the description below. I do do a scheduled call if you guys want to talk about this type of stuff, one-on-one. And yeah, overall, this is our journey so far in January 2025, February 2025, somewhere around there. I'm going to upload this probably in February or so. That's just our 2 cents based on our update, our journey as of 2025, in the beginning of 2025. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and I will see you on the next video.